Well, didn't see it, eh? It's Thomas Edward here, and I'm doing a bit of scrub-a-dub-dub on Noel here, the cheapest MG ZR 160. He's just clearing. He's been on a big road trip yesterday and clearing all the salt and dirt off him. And this is not today's video, by the way. This is a nice intro into another video what's not really got an intro as such, because it was made for a different purpose. So the video you're about to see, after I've done a bit of a scrub-a-dub-dub, is a special video I made for my Patreon supporters about a few months ago, right in the middle of the fuel crisis. And we weren't in Noel, we were in JJ that day, and it was a weekend away, doing a bit of filming in Cheshire. So I did a Patreon video of the day in the life of Thomas Edward. So it's a bit more relaxed video from me normal YouTube style. It's a very genuine Thomas Edward video, and it's the kind of stuff you get on Patreon. So if you'd like to join and you like what you see on Patreon, there's a link below, and that's what my Patreon supporters get. They get this slightly different style to YouTube. But it's a good video, it's a long video, and it's got a lot in it, because TE doesn't like, well, the TE family I should say, doesn't like travelling to one place just to film something. We go and look at other things as well. So it's got lots of stuff in this video. It's got all sorts of stuff. It's even got TE here spending a bit of cash on a bit of interesting nosebag, and even the cameraman, you get to see the hand of the cameraman in this video. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll get back to scrub-a-dub-dub. Didn't see it, is that Patreon? Well, I've come to Lytham. You might have seen a bit of footage of me coming through Blackpool and a bit of traffic on motorway. You get here, we've had a bit of a detour of TE, and we've come to Lytham, and that's the Fairhaven Lake, and it since I last came about 4 years ago, it's had a load of money. I think quite a few millions of pounds spent on the lake and the calf, and it's had quite a lot of work done since I last come. So. And it's very busy. I think the money's been well spent, because it's very busy. There's a lot of people about, and it's not the warmest today. It's a bit of a cool breeze, but there's a lot of people about. And we went to actually go and play a bit of crazy golf, and we didn't go and play it because it was very, very busy. And actually, I want to save it for a future video, because even though on Patreon I'll tell you a bit what's going on behind the scenes, that one I want to keep secret, because I want to work on it before I tell you what's happening with that. But it involves golf, that's all I'll tell you. But over here, oh, that was a nice discovery too. I just went past there. Over here, it's the 26th of September 2021, and the last few days we've had all the fuel crisis, or well, supposedly fuel crisis, depends how you want to think about it. And these lads here, this Tesla Model S here, and that BMW i3S, these lads are laughing at them, you see, because they can just sit there and charge up and go and enjoy the day, you know, instead of All the fuel stations limited them to 30 quid, I think they limited them to at the moment, but these lads are alright. There was a Jaguar I-Pace before, but it's gone now. Oh, there's a Bentley Continental here, brand new one. So on the Fairhaven Lake, it's quite choppy today, and there's a few big geese on it, and swans, Canadian geese down there. They'll be emigrating soon. They won't, next month or so. I think they go over to Canada, don't they? They go to warmer climates. They disappear, even though Canada's cold. But I think they go to other countries as well. They go to where it's warmer. I think they can feel it in their webbed feet, and they disappear in the next month or so. But on the lake here, you can see it's very choppy today. You get it for about £8. You can go and hire yourself 20 minutes on a motorboat, or you can, I think you can get on a rowing boat as well. There is a joke there, but I'm not going to say it. And then you can also, what I've seen recently, only in like the last year or so, is you can, people are really into those like surfboards, what you stand on, paddle board things. They're quite in at the moment. I've seen a lot around Lake District and that, and they've got some on there somewhere. But it's quite windy. I don't know if the mic's doing well in the wind. It normally does all right. If you can, this mic here did all the Morecambe stuff. I know it did pretty well in the Morecambe winds, and I think if you can substand the Morecambe wind hammering, I think you can do anything. Look at all them. Wow, look like pigeons or something. Loads of birdies everywhere. But talking of like cash and serious cash in Lytham, you know, look at houses here. They're all, as Thomas Edward would say, it's a TE here would say, it's serious showbiz houses there. Look at them. That's Lake Point House. With his balcony and his pillars and his personalised plated jag on it. It's pretty good stuff, that is. So I think we're going to go and walk round the back of the lake on that ridge there, on that big grass hilly bank. I think it's actually a car park, you can drive your car up it. We're going to go and walk round there, and we're going to go and check out some of the features, because apparently there was we were reading up there, and he was talking about a treasure island. So I don't know if there is an island in the middle of this lake, so I don't know if long time ago they had something like themed up as pirates, and you could go and get on the island and find the treasure. I was just telling the cameraman there as a passing comment, but see the roof on this little building here and those buildings over there, for some reason I like flat roofs. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you, because there you can actually get on top of it. It's something very appealing about it, my man. It's almost like you could sit on there and watch the day go by, or you could have a three-piece band on top of there playing to the audience, but it's like its own little stage. I don't know, I just like stuff like that. But I was just telling cameraman, and cameraman says we should film that because it's a good bit of footage. But yeah, I like flat roofs for some reason. They intrigue me. I'm going to go and get 2 ice creams, one for cameraman and one for me, with a bit of cash. Hiya, can I have 2 99s please? Did he come with a stick? Did he come with a stick? Yeah, brilliant. £4. There you go. Thank you very much. Oh, it's a Scottish ferret. Right, hold on. Let me put some money in some pockets first. Right, thank you very much. That's brilliant. There you go. 2 ice creams. There you go. One for the cameraman. One for me. And it's like Mr. Whippy ice cream. And look at this. a Scottish fiver. There's a big chopper up there. There could be cameras in that chopper up there, flying back to Cotswolds next to living next to Jamie Clarkson. But anyway, I've just finished my ice cream in '99. I just bought over there and one for the cameraman. Cameraman wolfed it down. It didn't last 5 minutes. But I always take a bit longer to eat an ice cream, a bit of a fussy eater. But we sat on it, and it's a fantastic view because you get to see it's a whole panorama shot of all this estuary. So right down there in all the clouds, it looks a bit stormy in that part of Lancashire, is Winter Hill. And Winter Hill's a big transmitter. And then just below the big transmitter at Winter Hill is the Rivington Pike, where there's a famous Thomas Mawson Gardens down there. What used to be a big manor house there, and very sort of Japanese gardens. Been up there quite a few times with various friends and the cameraman and stuff. We walked up there quite a lot. So yeah, I've been up there quite a few times. There's like Rivington Barn. There's like a restaurant at the bottom and stuff. There's quite a few stuff up there actually. You can go and have a walk around, and right at the top, just below the transmitter, at the top there's a big tower, what's called the Pigeon Tower. It's quite famous, the Pigeon Tower. And now, just a bit further up the estuary, and I should say this is a Ribble estuary here. It's a bit choppy out there because I was just going to say it looks like it's going to chuck it down over there. Is one of those two hills over there. I don't know which one exactly it is, I can't really remember. Either the first one, the really long one, or the shorter one is Parbold Hill. And but I don't know which one it is. But you'll get a closer up shot, a bit of B-roll to have a look. And then if you go further up the estuary, get over there where the sun is, you can see some glinting of some cars over there, and you can see the fair on the front. I think that big tower on the front, that big tower you can see on the front. You probably can't see in camera. I think that's the big bridge in Southport, and that is where there's a tea uncle lives over there. He'd be sitting out in that sun, drinking a few bevies. I would have thought on a day like today, on a Sunday, he'd be in pubs, and as dilly car, water troughs at dilly car with water scoops and all that. Well, T's uncle over there be drinking beverages, what are also called scoops as well. So there's a bit of a contrast there between a different scooping. You know, I think there's another scooping as well, but I can't remember. I can't mention that. And but further up the estuary, past Southport, when all the big sun rays are, you look out up there with the sun, all that blue sky. It's a fantastic atmospheric day today. It goes from really dark sort of Lancashire rain and wind and the whole lot over there, the whole 9 yards over there, all the way up here, and you get past Southport and it goes into a really, really nice day. And in the really nice sun over there, you can see North Wales. You can see North Wales, and you can see the mountains just peeking up in amongst the clouds. And I think somewhere in North Wales over there, and it's that big boat what's called the Duke of Lancaster. What's over there somewhere. I've actually got some pictures of that somewhere. I might have to dig them out and put them in. So that's over there, and it's painted black at the moment. It used to be white, but it's black now. But I think we're going to go and walk up there and walk around this lake and see what else we can see with TE. I think we'll best get down there because it's a bit wet and windy up here. We're getting blown around. I need to get down there out the wind, I think. I should probably go the proper way, but I'm going to end up trying to get down this banking somehow. Go a bit further up here, I think. Oh. Well, I think the rain's gone. We staggered down here in the wind, got down here and it disappeared. So we're looking alright at the moment. But a nice rainbow appeared, it's gone now. But it's a great view of the white church in Lytham. It really stands out against the black background of the storm. And just down there on the edge of this lake, there's a big sluice gate where you can let it out into the sea. What's just sort of hiding there. But I'm just looking up there, there's this thing whirring around. I thought it was a drone or something, but it's this big tower here. Well, I think it's a radar going round on top. Communication, something's going, it's like it's either something to do with lifeboats, or something to do with this estuary. I'll pick me proof, get some ice cream out of it, not ice cream, the cone out of it. Got a hole in my tooth. You can't go and see the dentist at the moment, it's a bit of a pain. So I've got a hole I've had since 2020, early 2020, and it's got bigger and bigger, and just eating that ice cream has made it, I felt a bit of crunchiness in the ice cream. I was like, oh, it's funny tasting ice cream. What it was, it's more of my tooth was coming apart. Dear me. But over here, this island, I don't know if it's this island, I think there's maybe an island on the back, because one of these was Treasure Island. I don't know if it was this one or the one on the back. And at the end of this lake, I'm sure we'll show you in this video, there's a Spitfire on like a 20-foot pole, 40-foot pole at the end. What we'll show you, I think. Because I think this path probably comes out there. If we don't get caught out in the rain anymore. Oh, and I think there was a bit of wild swimming happened in here. There's a certain area where you could go and swim, a bit of a pool, like, because this is obviously a tidal pool, so you could go and do a bit of wild swimming in a tidal pool, but I think there was a certain area where it was. I don't know where, but apparently there was. Good, isn't it? Motorboat. £8 that is for 20 minutes. Maybe we should have paid a bit of TE cash and got one. Hello! Just reading on the board up there, but this island there I think was the Treasure Island, but it had a bridge going across from it, from this side onto it, and so you could walk across, and then on the other side of the island you could get on there was a little ferry crossing what took you over into like a tiny little harbour what they had on this lake. And I'm just spying a heron over there, but you probably can't see him, he's in the shadows, but it's actually, this park's designed by someone I've already mentioned in today's video, Thomas Mawson, he's the arts and crafts famous garden designer and all sorts. So he did quite a lot really, all around the Lake District in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and he's one of Thomas Edward's favourite legends. You know, it's one of my people I aspire to. But I've been trying ever since I've done this YouTube not to mention him, because I've got a special YouTube series of doing all his gardens from the very start to the very late end ones, because I've got loads of books at home that tell me all about the different gardens, and it turns out he actually has done this. And what's really funny is here, I was walking past the steps up there and I was looking at the buildings and I was going, this looks like Thomas Mawson stuff, and it is Thomas Mawson stuff in 1924. So, and he says he did it, but I thought towards the end of his life, because only 10 years later in 1935, or just over 10 years later he died in 35, and in the later years of his life his son was taking over. So I don't know if his son did this or Thomas Mawson himself actually did it, and he was getting towards the end where he was starting to retire and his son was taking over. But now we'll get on to that future video. I think in about a year's time I want to start doing that. T.E. here actually used to live on a Lake District estate where Thomas Mawson designed the gardens and the grounds, and it was one of the second manor houses he'd done at Lake District. But there was more time for me to explain all that in a very, very future video. But anyway, it's just dead interesting. So just below us here, all people going over these stepping stones is it's a Japanese garden. It's a classic Thomas Mawson Japanese garden. And I can think of half a dozen on my hand what he built before he even built this one. I need to read more up on it, because I know a lot of later years his son did a hell of a lot of his work, where Thomas Mawson tended to do bigger projects, but probably this was a big project and he did get involved with it. So this was a little Japanese garden here, and in the last few years or so, the steps and that, they've gone in and dug them out, because I think in the 80s it got covered up and sort of destroyed almost, but all the steps are still underneath the grass and earth. So they're making it back into a Japanese garden again, what's really good. No, it's Thomas Mawson's it's always stuff you need to be proud of what he's made, because it's fantastic stuff. He did the park in Blackpool. Is it Stanley Park? He did that. It's even, as you drive into Stanley Park, it's called Mawson Way as you drive in. He's done loads. He started off doing private houses around the Lake Districts, and then ended up doing parks in lots of different towns, and then he ended up doing parks in Italy and Canada and all everywhere. You know, he was very, very early a businessman what had a bit of show business in him, because he used to go and get the big boats from Liverpool and go across to New York and stuff. It's really good. It's fascinating history, but I don't go into too much because I really, really want to do a Thomas Edward series about Thomas Mawson. Oh, there's a doggy here. Hello. Doggy. That was Zip, the spaniel, that was. He just came up to see a bit of tea and a bit of a cameraman action. Cameraman likes dogs, and the dogs like going to the cameraman. They're quite into him. So that's probably why. It probably wasn't a TE thing. But what I was saying is, I don't want to do Thomas Mawson stuff yet, because I want to do a proper series, because there's so much history and information, everything I can tell you about it, and there's no point me telling you rough history now, because I want to do like the part 1, part 2, the whole lot, and show you his different gardens. Like part 1, we'll go and see his very first garden, what still exists but the house doesn't exist, and then we'll go part 2. So I'm going to do that, so stay tuned for that, but it will come eventually. That's a big Spitfire, that is. It's not a real one, it's a replica. And it's in this park, and it's on that 20-foot pole, and it's strapped down because it's to sort of mark the sort of history of Lytham, like a lot of towns, saved up in a war and bought themselves a Spitfire to help in the war effort, but it wasn't really Spitfires. They bought other planes as well. It says all on those boards. There's a whole video in that, you know. But that's pretty much what it is. But what's really interesting, it sat on the edge of the lake in exactly sort of the same point where the diving boards and big slide and splash area was for the swimming. And I've just got told that by a nice man over there sailing his little yacht on the Filed Model Boat Club. What isn't on the internet, it's still old school, and they come and have meet in the evening and they sail the boats in here, but he's actually gone off back up there. Now he's sailing it round the edge now, and all motorboats have gone in, he's sailing it back up there and walking round at the side with his remote. So we've got a bit of footage there, you'll see. So that was there, but you could swim in this bit originally, and you could swim in here, and where the Spitfire is, there was a big slide and a diving board where you jump off and splash into the thing and into the water, and you'd land in there. But this Spitfire, there's a whole 20-minute video in that. No, the thing is, we might have to come back and do one video on Thomas Mawson and the park, one video on the Spitfire and all the history of around Fylde and Blackpool, videos on maybe even just like the wild swimming. You could do loads in this park. We might have to come back, use some Patreon money, come back Patreon money, put in the fuel in a car from Cumbria and come and do your video. So let us know below if you'd like me to come back here and get some videos done, because there's so much stuff here what you can't fit in this video. It's too much to, you know, there's only so much you can say in a video before it's like psst. So you've got to go and do its own special video. But we're going to go walk back round there and get to the car, I think. I think the car's behind the tennis courts over there. Oh. We took so long to walk round the lake, but it's all gone. Well, it's all shut. It's all gone for tonight, and it will be open tomorrow probably. That's a shame. But I'll go look down there. I'll show you some of that holes. But I like that. It's a water boat coming off the drain pipe. Now, to anyone else normal, that would be very, very boring, but to me that's quite exciting, because at the moment we're trying to find out a car washing solution, and we're talking about water butts and drainage, because we use water where there's no mains, and we use a battery-powered power washer. So we've been looking at stuff like this, and that's quite an interesting one, isn't it? It's almost styled like a cowboy and western sort of style, like a wooden barrel, but it's plastic. Something you'd get at like Camelot. Yeah, we're gonna get one of them soon to wash in the MGs. But today we might not be out to see. The sun's a bit bright. We might have to go up on the road. So in there, there's a windmill, and in the middle there's a pond in behind those fences, and there's a shed up there like a pagoda, and there's a sunk boat there. There's all sorts. These holes here. Hole number 1 there. Actually, just got a few lumps in the green. But right up, there's my finger, right up there there's lots of little buildings, but you can't see them from down here. Yeah, we're going to come back here and do that, but it'll be part of a series of videos, but I don't want to tell you what the name of it is, because it's quite exciting and we're working on it at the moment. So there you go, that's a bit of a taster of the holes they've got here at Lytham. Well, at this little nice park, what, Thomas Mawson designed. He obviously didn't design this because this is quite new, but they did have golfing from the from the late 1800s into 1900s. So eventually when he redesigned the park and the lake, he probably had something to do with that. But we're going to come back in. It's going to be a special TE series, and I've just been talking about what costume I'm going to wear for it as well. It's quite exciting. So we've walked the whole lake, I think, all the way down there. Had an ice cream, walked along the top, got caught out by the rain, saw a Spitfire, saw a model boat, talked about old swimming pools, Japanese garden. We've seen a lot in this park, and as I was telling you earlier, I think I've got to come back and even do more videos, like dedicated videos. But I'm not going to end this video here because I'm actually going off down to Ramada Hotel at Charnock Richard near Camelot, where I went on my birthday in May. And I'm actually on a bit of a road trip today to go and film some footage for a Lewis Carroll video where I talk. Who's actually, you know, he was called is it Charles Dodgson he was called, and obviously we know him as Lewis Carroll, and he was the guy who did Alice in the Wonderland. So we're going to look at that tomorrow. So it's a bit of a road trip, but I thought I'd do a video coming down here on the way down, and obviously we had traffic up motorway, so we had a bit of a detour anyway, so that's why we probably ended up here. But we did know about this golf course and we were going to go on it, but then we went, maybe not. Maybe we'll do it when we do the actual YouTube series about it, what you will see on Patreon first. But we'll get off down to Ramada. I think I'm going to go for a bit of nose bag first. We're a bit hungry. Cameraman says he's hungry as well, so I'm going to sort that out, and then we'll get to Ramada, and then tomorrow we'll be off to Cheshire. So you might see, actually, I might keep that video going, so you might not actually get ended tonight at Ramada. We might keep it on behind the scenes tomorrow as we film the Lewis Carroll video. So we'll see on that, we'll have a chat, but I think we'll best get on because I think the sun's slowly going down on TE again. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to spend a few TE pennies in there, but I think it's shut. But I've just come up here because it's even more exciting up here. Look, there's a couple of XBI rolling stock sat up here, painted in a very artistic motion white, and as they call it, blood and custard, and that's the blood colour of like an old sort of vintage railway theme. What they are, and why they're here, and I should say I'm in Lytham St Anne's, or St Anne's, just down from the pier. Why these are sat in, there's two of them, is I think it's a shop you can get your rock, like, you know, your eating rock and your sweets, and then the other end is a cafe. We've been in it a few years ago. Now, but what's interesting about it, I'll have to bring you around here. I'll have to go right round here to show you. But a TE nerdy information here. They got Commonwealth bogies on them, and pretty much Commonwealth bogies are cast bogey, because like early bogies were more like steel and very sort of like farm, very ultra, what's it called, agricultural spec, and it's just almost like rails welded together with axles on to make bogies. But these are cast iron, so they're called Commonwealth bogies. And what's interesting, so and that being, so the Commonwealth pretty much means if they cast bogies like that, they're a lot more higher speeds what you can pull them at, you know, on the railway, where the early bogies are a bit slower. You're like a speed rating pretty much. And what's interesting about these two coaches here is the normal enthusiast, you might think it looks like a Mark II coach, but in fact, if you look a bit closely, it's still got shutter windows on it, and it's got air vents on the roof. So that's very Mark I-ish. But what makes it look like a Mark II is above the bogies there. See the body, the coach work is rounded at the bottom. It's like that. Where the Mark 1s are like that, they're more squarer. So this, with it having the Mark 1 windows and up there as well at the top of the end, the nose, the sort of the end of the coach, it might be at point for you actually. This bit up here is all very curved. It's a very curved body. What Mark II coaches had, and Mark 1s weren't, they were very square like that. But it has Mark 1 windows on and Mark 1 vents in the roof, where the Mark 2s had aircon and they had sealed windows. So what this is, this is like the crossover period of a Mark 1 into a Mark 2. So it's pretty much a Mark 1 coach, but it get in there with the body and the structural strength of it in the crash. They're making it slowly like a Mark 2. So it's pretty much a Mark 1 1.5. That's what it is. It's in the middle of a Mark 1 and a Mark 2 coach. It's quite nerdy stuff once you start looking at coaches. And there's two of them here. But I bet you not the normal person walking down here tonight, walking the dog, knows that this is an in-between coach. Well, both of them are in-between coaches of a Mark 1 and a Mark 2. So it's pretty interesting. And down at the other end, I might show you, they've boarded some of the windows up. Here, they've put a door in and a bit of a porchway and a balcony, so you can get in here in day when it's open. And obviously they might put stalls in here. It's pretty good. It's like a carport, this is. We could do one of these at home. But it blocks some windows because see up there, that's not factory. That's to put a chimney in. That's for a stove or something. That is, or an extractor fan. That's not original. And that's not original either. There, that's like a toilet, something coming out of a toilet there. So they boarded the windows up because a lot of this is a cafe. So there'll be kitchens in this bit. And up here they've put roller shutter doors in for outside serving. The station cafe bar it is. But what I'll take you around then. What's really interesting, something. So, because they put hatches in here, they've took some of the windows out, and what they've done with those windows is put it in the end. He's made his own end and took one of the windows they didn't need and put it in the end of the coach. So it won't look like that normally. It'd be like the other end. So, but it's because it's an added on. This bit isn't a coach. This bit's added on as a wooden structure. This bit here is the end of the coach, and he's added this bit. This is an extender on the end of his Mark 1.5 coach. And in there, I think he's got. Oh, it's all his ice cream. There's a fridge down there lit up. All his Mr. Whippies are in there. So that's a pretty interesting TE fact for the day, that is, and that's all his prices. so I've just checked in at Ramada at Charnock Richard Services. Old Camelot theme park is over there behind all these bushes. And all day, right, we got out of Cumbria, and Cumbria garages were sound. It was alright, there was no queues, nothing, they were quite quiet. Got into Lancashire, around Lytham, Blackpool, Fleetwood, and everyone sold out of fuel. But we got to Charnock Richard, and obviously because it's motorway services, they seem to be well stocked up, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with that car just leaving there, so they seem to be got a fair bit of fuel in here. Maybe I can see a few yellow things, maybe super unleaded is ran out, because I did notice super unleaded was running out first, so it's I think that's about as far as it goes with Welcome Break fuel station. Oh, a Waitrose trucks is coming. There's behind camera, but we couldn't show you because they didn't have enough light. There's 2 beaver tail little Arctics, like little 7-ton trucks. What? Yeah, little 7-ton trucks with a McCormick tractor on back and a plough and another tractor. And they look like they've either been to an auction. Oh, I'm just getting sidetracked by a nice Discovery 4. Oh, Boland. Oh, he's an escort vehicle. I bet he does escorting for big caravans, he does. And so these 2 trucks have got a couple of classic tractors and ploughs on the back. I think they've been either to a ploughing competition or a show, or they've just bought them from auction, I don't know. But I couldn't really show you on camera because light was a bit naff, to be honest. Low light's it was a bit dark really, but I thought I'd come and show you at fuel station how they're getting on the evening of the 26th of September. But I think we'll get back into Ramada and get YouTube on and chill out for the night, and then tomorrow I'll be up at before 10 AM to watch the Dilly Car water troughs of the new TE video. It's coming out tomorrow, Monday, the 27th. And then we're off down into Cheshire to do a Lewis Carroll Alice in the Wonderland video, what will be a future TE video. So I think I'll end it for today, but I won't do me ding and all that because I'm just going to do tomorrow's part 2. So this is quite a big Patreon video, and maybe 6 months time it might go on YouTube. So, but for now it's going on Patreon. So anyway, I thought I'd show you that, and Charnock Richard is over there. It's quite full actually, quite busy tonight for like 9 o'clock at night or 10 to 9, I can't remember what time it is. Oh, it's 9:30 now, it's quite a lot later than I thought it was, but it's quite busy. So yeah, I think I'll go down off this nice little old bridge down here and get back into Ramada. cut and I didn't realise that it didn't work because there was no power. I got the pound coins and it's £1 for 3 minutes. Good bargain that. Keith knows how to get his customers in. A lot better than with a slack garage. They want, I think it's £1 for not a lot of minutes. I think it's free. I think it's £3, so like the same amount sort of minutes you get here. What's good cash, you know? But it's a lot of money, and TE needs to save his pennies for those Thomas Edward trips away. So this is a good deal. This is. But we're only going to use power washer, and I'm going to use high rinse, high pressure rinse. This is a hot pressure rinse. Shampoo. High form of hot shampoo. I just want to rinse. I want the high pressure rinse. That's what I'm going to go for. Oh yeah. Oh, I got to press, yeah. High pressure. Whoa.